I'm Bishop Hying. I'm Bishop of Madison, Wisconsin, and I have great and fond memories of being with you 2 years ago when I was honored to be the keynote speaker for your annual spring assembly of Vincentians in the Archdiocese of St. Louis. I still carry within me joyful memories of the conversations and the encounters I had on that glorious spring day several years ago. So much has changed since then. I'm in a different diocese, and all of us are going through the results of the pandemic. And I know Vincentians everywhere have been remarkably creative in responding to the needs of people in this critical and very difficult time of the pandemic. And without being able to make home visits, still reaching out and doing the great charitable work that St. Vincent de Paul does so well. I know your theme this year is a new dawn of discipleship for Vincentians. And we think of coming out of the pandemic, we think of spring, we think of the glory of the risen Christ. Calls to mind part of the Benedictus, which is Zechariah's hymn of praise to God at the conception of St. John the Baptist. And in that, which if you pray the Liturgy of the Hours, you pray every morning in morning prayer, it says, "The dawn from on high shall break upon us and shine on those who dwell in the shadow of death." And we know that Christ is that new dawn that breaks upon us and casts away the darkness of our sin, our selfishness, our despair, and our death, that he gives us new life. So to be a disciple is to be one on fire with the love of Christ. It's more than simply being a practicing Catholic, as good as that is. The difference between simply being a practicing Catholic and being a disciple is that a disciple is actively engaged in the mission of the church, living out the teachings of Christ in such a way that we are purposefully seeking to reach others and bring them into relationship with Christ and the church. St. Vincent de Paul is aptly suited as a disciple-making machine. So think of someone in your life that perhaps is disengaged from the church. I think as you propose in your theme this year, could the society be a vehicle to evangelize someone and bring them back into fullness of relationship with our Catholic community? That perhaps inviting someone to join you in a home visit or inviting them to engage in help with a service project is a very practical, concrete way to invite someone fully into relationship with Christ. So it's not only what we do as Vincentians, it's the why behind the doing. And we know the why is because Christ loves us and we want to share that supernatural charity and compassion with others. So we think not only of the people that we serve, but we think of who are the people in our life that we can invite to serve with us. And perhaps that experience of Vincentian charity, that encounter with the poor and the suffering may just be the trigger or the vehicle by which they come back fully to Christ and to the practice of their faith. So to be a disciple is to be one sent on mission, who puts on the lens of Jesus and looks at everyone from that supernatural perspective as a beloved child of God. And even as we provide material and physical help, which is so essential in living out the gospel, ultimately, we desire to save souls and to serve the spiritual life of the people that we come into contact with. So as you contemplate all of that in your conference, just please know of my prayers and my love for you. And again, as the national chaplain for the St. Vincent de Paul Society, I'm honored and grateful to be with you digitally today, just as we were together physically 2 years ago. But in the power of the Holy Spirit, we are always one and always united. Thank you for being a Vincentian. You set the world on fire with the love of Christ.